Welcome back, you lovely bunch. Thanks for tuning in again. I hope you're all doing good. So I have the new wireless mountain bike shifting thing from WheelTop. I'm so excited, I can barely talk. So unlike the road version, the EDS OX only comes with your rear mech. So those of you that would have seen the road version of this, there's a lot of carbon. This is more aluminium, like it is a lot tougher, a lot more durable. I used a previous version of this that was never released and I didn't have any issues with it other than me being an idiot and bending my rear mech and that throwing the gears off. But yeah, new EDS OX from WheelTop, and you can see you have your little button shifter here. And the good thing about this is I'm pretty sure this is paired straight out of the box. So like their rotor radio, you can use it as a 3-speed all the way up to a 14-speed, I believe. So on their website it is €479. You can get it in 3 different cage sizes as well. You can get like a 58mm, a 75mm and a 90 something mil. I've gone for the longer cage because I run quite a large cassette on the rear. So the different cage lengths mean you can use it for different types of bike, whether that be cross country, downhill. You know, you can adjust the number of gears on it, which is also a really nice feature. I don't know if it's unique to WheelTop, but I do love the fact that this can be like a 12-speed, a 10-speed, a 9-speed, like whatever you want. The bike I'm going to put this on today is my Marin DSX FS. It's like a flat bar, gravel bike, a bit of a do-it-all bike. I was thinking I should actually put this on something a little bit more robust and so I can actually give it a proper test. But for now, we're going to put it on that. Maybe I'll put it on my all-mountain later on. And as you can see, it's already set up as a 12-speed, so fingers crossed, this is a relatively simple process. So just like the road version, there's a lot of adjustment. You can adjust the individual gear values, so you can really fine-tune stuff. I'm hoping it is just a set up and forget kind of thing, and I don't need to do too much adjustment other than the initial fine-tuning, which essentially is like doing your barrel adjustment, like moving the rear mech left and right a tiny bit. And then hopefully we'll get the gear shifting all smooth and we won't need to go into the settings. Fingers crossed this is going to be a straightforward setup. Bolt this on. I've got the bike already, so let's put this on and take it for a little bit of a test ride. So the buttons are quite nice to feel. They have a different texture on each one. They feel really nice to click actually. Like, very light to touch. So also within the app you can switch the function of these buttons around, which is a really nice feature. And it uses a CR3032 battery in it. And it seems to last for absolutely ages. It is quite wide, a little bit chunky, but on the bike it does look nice, I think. Very nice, and it feels good too. It is a big old chunky piece of kit. I think the weight of this is similar to the SRAM ones. They always tend to like mimic the weight or get the weight very close. So rather than go full carbon everywhere, they've gone for aluminium, more durable, just tougher. Because obviously riding mountain bikes, these are going to take a lot more abuse. Like it does seem to be like very solid, to be honest. I mean, what you want to happen is, if this takes a knock, you want your mech hanger to actually break or bend rather than it damage the actual derailleur itself. And then in here you have your standard limiter screw, so you can limit it at the top end of the cassette or the bottom end of the cassette, so very easy. But I think it looks very nice, don't you think? Right, so this is with no adjustment. I've literally just bolted everything on. Let's see if it actually works. So the gears actually seem to work completely perfectly off the bat. Normally for all the tuning on WheelTop stuff, you do need to be in the smallest tooth sprocket at the back and the biggest at the front if you're using the road one. So anyone that's watching, if you want to adjust this or you ever have any issues with it, so what you need to do is shift down into the smallest sprocket. If it's not doing the gears or the gears aren't working, you use the fine tune adjustment and you basically fine tune it all the way down there. So for example, if I were to try and fine tune it from this end, it would now think that this cog is that cog down there. So all your adjustment needs to be done from down there, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to give it a bit of a crank, run through the gears as if I was actually riding, be a bit harder on them and see if they're set up. So let's see what happens. Right, so it's shifting perfectly on the way up, but it doesn't seem to be shifting on the way down. I don't think it's coming down far enough. So you have two options here. You can actually flip a little switch up on the front shifter, and then you can fine tune it from there, or you can use the app. I'm going to try and use the little fine tune adjustment up here. So if you want to shift the derailleur towards the larger sprockets, you press the button to shift up towards that sprocket, and if you want to go down the other way, simply press the other button. So I want to change the gears coming down, so I believe it's a small button. So let's see if this works. Nope. Okay, so it's not shifting up, so we need to move it towards the other one. So it is a little bit iffy just on one of the gears here, and I'm not sure if that's because I've bent my rear mech hanger or because I need to adjust the B gap. Right, so I promise all I did was adjust the B gap. So I brought the rear mech like slightly up closer so it like sits nicer on the sprockets. It was a little bit trial and error. All I did was like back it off a bit, and I figured if that didn't work I'd do it the other way. And luckily for me, it does seem to have worked fine. The gears are like shifting. But completely off the subject, whilst I'm sitting here, this battery pack, it doesn't have any cover on it, and it's just an exposed like charging port. And I'm sure that'll be fine, but on the road ones they're covered, and on this one it's just exposed, so it's just a random thing that I point out. So let me show you the shifting. Check this out. There we go. So there we go, like up, up, up. So it shifts up really nicely. Shifting down as well, I had some issues, but now I would say that's pretty perfect. And then if we give it a bit of a speed shift, there we go. There was a very quick and painless setup of the WheelTop EDS OX mountain bike derailleur and front button shifter. I do like that you can fine tune it with the buttons up the front. So one of the things I like about the SRAM group set is it is these like little blip buttons on the inside of the lever. You simply press and hold it. So you can do it whilst riding along. And I know they say not to adjust it whilst riding along because you should be concentrating, but I like the fact that you can just give your gears a little bit of a tweak whilst riding. Like a lot of bikes used to have a barrel adjuster up by the handlebars, and now most of them have them at the bottom or not at all. I like the fact that I can adjust it whilst riding along. Not that I should have to, because this is electronic, obviously wireless, so there's no cable stretch to ever worry about, there's no cables to ever replace. So the battery is built in, I believe it's down here somewhere, and then the charging port, like I said, is exposed, it's just up on the top. Whilst I'm a little bit nervous about it being exposed, we're going to take it out and ride through loads of puddles and see if it stops working. So that's the plan. I'm sure I've missed out a load of information about this, the weight and all that kind of stuff, but if you're interested in that, check out the WheelTop website. I'll put the links down below, and I'll give you a first ride update, and then we'll test it for a bit longer and we'll see how it performs over time. Right, thank you as always for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.